Semi-final of Worlds 2018. I am still Phreak here with Kobe and Deficio. Fnatic versus Cloud9 for the last spot in the finals. The biggest NA versus EU match probably of all time.
It is extremely exciting. First pick and ban phase. There were some picks on both sides we were looking at. Irelia Akali has been banned by C9 in all the quarterfinal games. It stays the same here in the semifinal. And then Zillion, Nocturne, two of the key picks for Cloud9.
Something else we were looking at with Cloud9's games was the difference between group stages early on for Sneaky, and then once he started playing Lucian in the bottom lane, since we're looking at marksman picks already, that was going to be another one that did rise to the top because Lucian does something very different.
And an interesting pick right here by Fnatic. For the entirety of the main stage of the World Championship, Cloud9 has always banned Tahm Kench. It's such a good counter to their aggressive style. And Fnatic for Hylissang, he's put this champion 8 times all year, none at Worlds and only 2 at the summer split. He basically doesn't play it. You saw the hover there, Fnatic aware it's being left up. The question is, will it get picked up in that second round here?
Well, for now, it is a LeBlanc first pick. We saw this yesterday in Game 3 between IG and G2. It's simply saying we are so confident in our mid laner and whatever matchup we're going to get in this lane that we will be able to play around the lane, that we can just grab it early on.
Plus, it just re-emphasizes what we were talking about with the mid laners and junglers in this game. There's so much importance put on these 4 players. They've already invested very early on Fnatic's side into the mid lane pick, but here Cloud9 invests into the jungle pit. Zeyzal is the king of the early game.
Let's see if we get Lee Sin from Broxah or Rakan from Fnatic. I assume we're seeing that they were not taking away the Braum ban. Oh, Viktor coming in as well. Top lane Viktor, of course, was suddenly played a lot in quarterfinals. Bwipo also showed it.
Viktor has become the star of the top lane there, and the scourge of solo queue. For many, it's so annoying to play against because of the range matchup, but this is a blind Viktor. So he doesn't know already that he's going into a tanky champion, something easy to use Kleptomancy again. He's actually confident enough here, Bwipo going against Licorice, that it's going to be blind.
Yeah, I want to see if teams have spent the last couple of days finding counters to Viktor. It was banned all games yesterday, so we didn't get to see blind pick, but Licorice does have a chance to last pick. I also want to see now with Lucian being banned, what is Sneaky playing? Because Lucian Braum was the combo he used in quarters.
In my experience, the best strategy so far versus Viktor has been early picks that can set up your jungler for ganking. They already have a Zeyzal jungle for possible early ganks.
Wow.
You want to try and kill Viktor before he gets the cooldown reduction and the upgrade for his Hex core, so he doesn't have the speed.
Kai'Sa is up right now as a potentially premier bot lane pick right here. I'm assuming Jack's jungle ban aimed at Broxah has to be a solo queue scout or maybe scrims from earlier, because obviously we've got LeBlanc and Viktor playing solo lanes. Rekkles is famously not a mage bot player.
Well, it does make a lot of sense. Jax does dodge Zeyzal's auto attacks, is one of the picks that is very good into it.
Let's see if they give Sivir over to Fnatic. It is the normal go-to pick, and that was not really a lot of thinking from Fnatic's side, also good against things like Lissandra. And of course it is Lee Sin being picked last here, seeing as it wasn't banned and the jungler had already been shown on T9. Now, top lane pick. Lissandra can of course get flexed, but I want to see, is there any clear counter? Ekko is an old counter pick into Viktor. Let's see if C9 are ready to pick it here.
Could also be a mid lane Ekko and shifting LeBlanc up to the top side. To try and farm it out and then use the CC that Lissandra does have to set up the Zeyzal. So until these two actually settle after the swaps here around 20 seconds, I'll remain up in the air.
I'm definitely expecting it to be Ekko top lane. Papa Smithy spent a week telling me about Ekko into Viktor, saying, this is going to be the counter pick, it's going to happen. I was like, okay, let's see if anyone will actually do it. C9 still have to swap it around, but they have 15 seconds.
There's even the chance the players swap around as well. We've seen teams like Flash will do this. I think IG did it before as well, where you simply put the players as champions and you have them play the other lane, assuming that learning the champion is harder than learning the basics of the lane phase, but there is the swap. There is Ekko top for Licorice.
One of the big things here is Ekko, of course, AP damage, and one of the items that Viktor top lane has been rushing is Iceborne Gauntlet because of the large amount of cooldown reduction and mana to help with the shield and the speed boost off your Q. Now, it's going to be an alteration. You just shift the build a little bit and you get Abyssal Mask in the case of magic damage instead, but it's not quite as perfect.
It's not going to be as damaging. You'll almost never be in the aura range unless Ekko goes in on you. So the poke will be down. And either way, Champion Select is done. We've got more new and exciting picks. The Blind Viktor, the Ekko top. It's going to be an exciting game, a very fun draft to watch. And the last remaining hopes of the two major Western regions, Europe on the left, North America on the right. In either case, these teams have had an incredibly good World Championship. But the Western intracontinental love or intercontinental love is gone. It's all in the field now. It's time to win. The game has begun. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Europe versus North America, the semifinals at Worlds. The best performance either region will have had in 7 years if you can make it to the final here.
So much building up to this match. And we're now in the last few seconds where you can spam the EU Love NA in chat because it is about to catch on fire.
I mean, one region will make it to the World Final. The other region will get trash talked for a year. So a lot on the line here for both fan bases and both teams. Of course. Now, Ekko top lane, you already mentioned the AP damage. It obviously makes it a lot harder for the Viktor when it comes to his itemization, because we got to see the Iceborne Gauntlet rush when he was against things like Aatrox, and the armor was super beneficial, hard for Aatrox to kill him. Obviously not going to be the same effect against an Ekko, and there's constant threat that he can jump you with a jungler, and he can always close that gap and get onto you.
Exactly, that's the key thing for me, because Viktor top actually does a lot of scaling, but we'll talk about that later because there's already an invade here that's been seen on the ward. Broxah's going to back off until his bottom lane does come.
And C9 don't know they were spotted. The sweeper didn't see the ward that Fnatic put down into the left-hand side to not be swept out. A lot of early research on both ends here as they're still battling now for the red buff. 3-on-3 down here as we wait for this fight to continue. Broxah going to give up the control as Licorice now fighting Bwipo on the top side, and the Q's going to land. A bit more damage as well. C9 off to a good early start.
Yeah, getting his passive there for the extra speed. Now, the big difference on this invade is the mid laner push. Jensen in the mid lane as the Lissandra. He pushed the wave. It was not on screen, but he got control over the mid lane here. Priority is what we call it, and Caps could not join, so they had to give up that buff.
I like the scouting a lot from C9 because this actually happened against Fnatic when they played EDG, sorry, in the quarterfinal. It was also an invade in the first game. Braum support always leads the way here. Broxah now has a ward spotting Svenskeren, so he knows he's on his way into his jungle. He's just taking the long route around. Red buff sends Zhao. You do not want to fight him early.
Yeah, especially with the solo lanes getting the push on the minion waves that we have seen. Now, he's actually going for the gank rather than the scuttle crab right now. Due to the positioning of Bwipo, though, calls it off and wants to get that income going already. Broxah, as you can see, has transitioned down to the bottom side already on Lee Sin, and he may just have to focus on that area as there is not a lot of vision there either.
Very good early vision, however, from Fnatic on that top side. The Ghost Poro, they had a ward in the ramp that spotted Svenskeren walking into the jungle, and Bwipo had a ward in the top lane Tri-Brush. They would have spotted him walk out as well. So they knew, okay, if he's not seen in any of these places, he's still either in the jungle or he's recalled.
It does make it fairly easy to track the jungler, though. Here we go!
Flash in, going for the chain as well. Just gonna flash, but still get rooted. Q's gonna land, and first blood goes to Broxah!
Insane setup. First pick LeBlanc, he chain flashes, so there's no reaction time from Jensen, and he gets hit. Oh my god, what a setup!
Great play there from Caps, and once again, that's why we put the importance on the mid-jungle duos here in this matchup. Flashing in, securing that kill, and getting the summoner spells down.
In half of all of Cloud9 games, it was the enemy mid laner giving up first blood of all 10 players in the map. Fnatic at 3 minutes turned that one around as Jensen's the first to fall in the semifinal.
So let's see again here. He wants to start the animation of
flash W into E.
Flash W and then just ease right after. Jensen simply not able to react in time.
Either way, a good play right there, and this is, of course, a good start. 600 gold lead for Fnatic as the trades keep happening to the top side. And I gotta say, it's been pretty good for Licorice, putting Bwipo pretty low, who is not quite gonna get stunned. This shield doesn't take a turret shot, but Licorice seemingly having a counter pick so far to that first pick Viktor.
Yeah, with the biscuit delivery as well, those are going to come in to help him sustain through this and keep up the pressure. Now, with top Viktor as well, it's very important to keep track of the rune choices. Even if you are forced to go in the magic resistance area, you can take Transcendence for some cooldown reduction at level 10, but again, it still takes a while to scale up on that pick before it comes, extremely effective. Bottom line, though, they're going in for a little bit of a trade.
Well-timed rocket jump gets away from that one. It's fairly easy to do at this level of play, but either way, Hylissang not getting punished for the jump in at all. And that's going to be a pretty equal trade. This bot lane is plus CS for Fnatic. Even if he gets all 3 of these, he will still be down 3 farm in this lane.
There's some very interesting trades in the pick and ban phase. C9 did not value getting Lucian in the first phase because they wanted Lissandra against the LeBlanc pick from Fnatic, which meant that Fnatic could ban the Lucian and therefore not be too scared of the Braum lane specifically. And those kind of things will be very important to track during the series. If C9's bot lane feel like they need more pressure for the next game, they might value getting that Lucian pick earlier. But for now, it is a scaling pick for Sneaky. Same thing, obviously, for Rekkles.
And that investment has worked out pretty well as far as the CS lead there for Lissandra. But again, the teleport was also blown. They're going in again.
In landing, Jensen's still going to be rooted up in place, but with Aftershock on, he's going to feel pretty safe. Broxah won't take that one forward until he gets out of turret range. He gets a bit of extra damage. Jensen maybe going a little bit too far forward on that one.
Cap not level 6 yet, should hit it very soon. Got it now. Jensen with ulti available under his own turret can use it defensively to stay alive. I feel like mid lane is where everything is happening, and we showed this in the pregame, how both mid laners pick up a bunch of solo kills, but also die isolated quite a bit, and that's because teams love to gank them early. And for now, it's Fnatic ganking Jensen.
Yeah, it has been all Broxah for the early game. Even though Svenskeren went for the invade to push him off of his jungle camps, he went mid instead and got a lot out of it. Now Svenskeren's looking to make his own move topside.
Level 6 are both top laners. Here comes the jungler in as well. A lot of damage coming in towards Licorice. He's going to ult to stay alive, but now Sven is on the chase. Bwipo's burned the flash, but is there the knockup? A couple more autos coming through, but watch out, the turret is attacking, and Svenskeren kills himself in the top lane, and Fnatic is not done. Jumping forward his caps, he's got the chain as well. What a play, and 3 kills.
Fnatic are destroying Cloud9 right now. Are you kidding me? Bottom lane wants to say something about it, but Hylissang just jumps over the wall there. Svenskeren goes headlong into the turret.
He lost his mind
there,
thinking he could just get the kill. Bwipo got the movement speed to just run away from and kite the Zhao. Svenskeren is only level 4 right now, and the first gank very unsuccessful.
That seemed like some frustration really built up and got to his decision making here. Let's take another look in our Acer Predator replay at it. Level 6s for both of these guys. Bwipo does get the stun over there, and he's able to kite Licorice with his flash.
Yeah, the fact he gets to flash out of the stun as well is important. And here, he's just running away from him, and Svenskeren just can't get in and get enough hits on him. Yeah. Meanwhile, Caps and Broxah actually roamed early from mid. How does Caps get the chain on him in the middle of the wave?
That's actually insane. He threaded that chain through and was able to land it onto Licorice, but Licorice had already blown his ultimate in the attempt at killing Bwipo, so huge early momentum here for the Fnatic side.
1,500 gold lead for the EULCS Sweethearts here, the last remaining hope of the EULCS, and they are looking very good so far. And now the fight in the mid lane, Cleanse already popped. They've jumped onto him already, though, and Jensen, his time is running out, but Svenskeren's back around. The Guardian shield buys a couple more seconds, but it's not going to be enough. Cap still staying alive. He gets out of that one cleanly enough. 4-0 Fnatic.
Fnatic, they can just do everything right now. Every fight they take, in mid or top lane, they weave in and out of minion waves, they always get onto the correct target, and they just have enough damage to finish C9. Jensen ends up going down, top lane fighting.
Yeah, a bit of a trade. It's going to be Licorice walking back, though, unless he's going to go for the ult to keep this one going forward. It'll be right on top of Bwipo pretty soon if he goes for this play. As he's getting close to the turret, not going to pop the ult, going to go for the damage down onto this one. Again, cutting away his Licorice, but never does the ult for damage, and now he's just stuck at about 1/3 HP.
And not to mention the bottom lane here. All these kills are going Fnatic's way on the top side of the map, in mid lane, in top lane, in the jungle as well. But bottom lane actually heavily behind in CS because the Sivir keeps pushing. Top side again though, Broxah moves up. He's going to provide some extra support for Bwipo under turret now, the Ekko, not a lot of options.
And you saw that instant 180 from Svenskeren, unwilling to fight Broxah in the one-on-one. Better items by a completed team effort versus Longsword on the one side. But now Licorice going forward a bit low, but gets the shield, and there will not be a re-engage. Bwipo playing so well with all this pressure, 1-0 and 1 despite a partial camp from Svenskeren.
I think Broxah is spotted right there on the control ward. Jensen knows he's around mid lane. Good trade from him. Aftershock plus all abilities landing, meaning he barely takes any damage himself, and Caps drops down fairly low.
And it is a solid lane. It's about 20 CS lead for Jensen despite the 0-2 start, so at least farm is going well on the one side, but it is the only bright where you can see the individual gold despite the farm lead down about 2,000.
Yeah, that's why I want to see Svenskeren focus his next gank around mid when there's no cleanse on Caps' side. Flash ulti from Jensen with us in Zhao there should give them a kill onto the LeBlanc, and then you can continue this advantage from your CS department in the mid lane.
Man, this is such a crazy start. There was so much talk about, you know, Cloud9. Well, never mind. We're going to have some more action. Let's take a look at the top lane gank up here first. Caps on LeBlanc is already behind him.
No ult for Licorice. Kicked out, looking for his shield. He's not going to get it in time. An easy shutdown. 5-0 Fnatic.
Well, that's almost unfair for Licorice. Viktor wasn't even there. His top lane counterpart was in base, running towards the mid lane, but it was Broxah knowing, okay, he's going to try and push out this lane here, and Caps is roaming. Combine the two, and you get another kill.
C9 not quite going all the way down to the bottom lane as Jensen's going to go back to his lane to farm. But a bit of borrowed pressure here as Hylissang and Rekkles clear out the ward and defend their turret. Bot lane's getting a bit low. C9's pressure finally bearing some fruit here. Not up in farm, but that turret down to 1/3 might mean something eventually.
Yeah, they also had a bit of a visit there. Jensen roams down from the mid lane. Svenskeren's in the area, but they cannot overextend for a second here. Warding does stop one of the recalls.
Yeah, Zeyzal going to walk back with this one, and it will be Sneaky once again matching. Has a finished Storm Rage, so again, a potential power spike could be there. Just to watch the mid lane fight as Caps gets out of W range. There's never the Aftershock and wins that trade handily.
We talked about before how Caps had cleanse on cooldown, so there was an opening to just flash ult him with the Lissandra here and Svenskeren around, but he didn't opt into any ganks. He's also been missing flash for most of this early game. It's going to be ready very soon. Maybe he feels a bit confident then to go for a play, but it's getting harder for C9 the further they fall behind, especially around this LeBlanc pick that is getting really, really fed on kills.
Exactly. There has been so much talk about early game aggression and just throwing caution to the wind, trying to go for ganks over and over in the early game, but we're seeing the downside if you fail in those early steps right now and how hard it is going to be to come back because Fnatic have had such good answers to these movements from C9. Broxah just took the early invade, was able to get to the bottom side, then kills mid lane, and has been a huge snowball.
And this counter pick, Ekko, last pick in the entire draft, specifically against the Viktor. Got off to a rough start because Svenskeren died under that turret for no reason at all. And then obviously we had the roam from Caps killing Licorice. And now he's down in CS, he's not really winning trades anymore. And Bwipo is just constantly pushing in this turret.
Big part of the viability of melee assassin counter picks into squishier mages is with kill threat. And if you lose the kill threat in the early game, then you lose so much power in your lane. And the whole point of that counter pick to begin with. So, you know, not necessarily his fault or the pick's fault, but due to the early game going on here, it has been a completely different story.
The fight might continue. He doesn't ult in time. What a shot from Bwipo, getting the solo kill. Licorice not up for the match.
That kill kind of encapsulates this entire first game of the series. This is a landslide, Deficio.
It's a perfect game so far. 13 minutes in, Cloud9 have only had mistakes so far. Hoping for their first foray into something advantageous. It's not happening yet, though. Again, not finding the trade in the bottom lane either.
Feels like C9 were looking at the Fnatic EDG series and saying, okay, Fnatic are going to play a bit slow in the early game. There are ways for us to get some bot lane.
Again, that big trade coming in, but with the shield coming in time for Zeyzal, gonna put the ult down, gotta find Rekkles a bit. Almost gets shut down with the Q, the Ignite is burning, he should stay alive, but no, it's Cap over 2 walls! Finding a kill onto the turret, and it's 7-0 Fnatic.
Yep, double distortion, waves high to Svenskeren on his way in to find the kill, and takes down Zeyzal.
Fnatic really cannot do any wrong so far in this game,
TP.
but now a TP flank, maybe something in for Cloud9, hoping to find the play as Jensen should be getting us up a route. The old, it's spell shielded by Rekkles. He's running away, and here comes the rest of the squad. Finally a kill on the board, but Broxah already answers one. Hylissang doing well. Caps, it's a formality for this one. Bwipo gets a kill on his TP. Jensen's certain to die as well. Look at the cleanup, it's 10-1.
C9, they tried. They used Jensen's TP in the bottom lane against the two players from Fnatic, but early spell shield and Hylissang 1v1ing Sneaky that entire time. Bought enough time here for the rest of Fnatic to show up, and everyone showed up in the bottom lane to destroy Cloud9. That was, again, the first turret of the game.
Yeah, even the Rift Herald spawned down here and has taken down the Cloud9 base. It's probably going to get off another charge here on the secondary turret if Bwipo can move him up. Zeyzal going to do his best to stop it, but Shelly's got her sights set on that tower.
And big chunks going to come through for sure.
Well, it's actually insane how the Fnatic players mechanically are just executing every single skirmish, from the first gank in mid lane with the LeBlanc to the Roam's top lane, now bot lane as well. Let's see the setup. Nika goes in, has to flash out because of the knockup. He doesn't want to get bursted down. Spell shield just in time, as you called right there, Phreak to block the Lissandra ulti. Broxah cannot save Rekkles, but will guarantee one kill, while Hylissang is still running around against Sneaky, and of course TP plus Roam means everyone else will die.
Yeah, they left Sneaky alone with the support. Like, you okay over there, bro? No, he's not okay. Gets taken down as well. Now they're back at it.
Well, fighting maybe a 3-on-2 if they go over the wall. Squires doesn't quite find too much. Hill's going to knock down a controller, jumps over the wall, no problem there for him. And Rekkles so far has been really good at getting away from everything. Cloud9 again failing another opportunity to go for a pick, and they can't find it.
But we can see very early on, 15 minutes in, C9 is saying, okay, this laning phase is now working. They start grouping as 5, looking for a pick top lane. In the end, Fnatic smell it, and they end up just jumping away. All of C9 have to now go back, catch the waves. Bot lane already getting pushed in by the Viktor.
Now, I want to emphasize how important it is that Fnatic have these powerful burst champions with so much mobility. Lee Sin and LeBlanc are two of the best champions to have this much of an early game lead on, because they can get over the map to anywhere and traverse all these different walls, come at you from all these different angles. Once they have a lead like this, it is going to be a smashing.
See when the next play comes forward as this turret's getting lower and lower. Fnatic continue to make their good choices around this map. The difference in gold about 6,000 here, a little bit above that. Fnatic are well on their way to a 1-0 start in this series. Of course, there's more to play, but they are looking very good to make their way to their first final since 2011. And on they go.
Good start, at least.
Yeah, a very good start. There's a lot more to play, but this is one of the most one-sided games I've seen at Worlds so far, and it's Fnatic doing a lot of really good work.
Well, let's see what happens here. Jensen is hiding in a brush behind Caps. Svenskeren jumps. They do not get him in time. Cleanse was also available for the LeBlanc, so it's going to be even harder to shut him down. But there's some big bonuses now on the side of Fnatic. Kill on to Bwipo with 4 kills is huge suddenly for C9 if they can actually do it. Same thing with mid jungle. For now, though, they are not actually getting in range. Whenever C9 are trying to move out of lane, group, and find that one pick, Fnatic just back off.
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of go down the checklist now. It's very easy for them to move wards into the Cloud9 jungle, and very difficult for Cloud9 to actually take any of those fights, because we talked about how mobile the Fnatic carries are that have gotten a lot of these kills. There's 3 on Bwipo, or there's 4 on Bwipo, 3 on Broxah, and 3 on Caps there. And even if Rekkles is around, he could pop the Sivir speed boost to chase people down. So it makes Cloud9 have to kind of cower behind their turrets right here because of the enormous lead that Fnatic are working with.
Again, damage on towards Jensen at half HP. They're going to dive right in the charm of the knockup. And another kill goes in after the mid turret falls as well. Fnatic continue to take more and more.
And there has been also big differences in play from game to game at this tournament. Cloud9 in this game, a lot of early mistakes that we hadn't quite seen from them so for much of this stage of Worlds, yet coming right now, it's just all crashing down at the same time.
I definitely agree that Svenskeren play top lane was a mistake. I think a lot of the other situations, Fnatic just managed to get really good, attacks towards them, like in through minion waves, the flash forward from Caps in mid, like things like that. I think C9 were just not ready for in the moment. Was to me a great setup.
For sure. Big outplays on...
Svenskeren, however, that one, no clue.
Big outplays, though, especially LeBlanc that you're talking about. Caps was down in CS, yet he continues to look for these plays to set up, going for the kills, and securing the extra control that way.
And I want to talk about something you said before here, Kobe, with the lead now from Fnatic and getting deep vision. In this meta, especially without Trackless Knife, most of the defensive wards teams are trying to place in the early game in their own jungle are going to be like control wards just around the entrance. But you can always see them, so Fnatic, when they walk in, can just kill the C9 control wards, place their own, which then will also deny the limited amount of normal wards C9 can place, and it gets really easy right now to just get full control of a jungle side and keep that control, because you deny full vision from the enemy team, and they don't have enough wards to keep putting them in to see what's going on. They have to constantly recall with the support then, and it's one of the reasons the game is very snowballing and very fast. So once Fnatic get back to pushing the lanes, they can look for that setup.
And I give so much credit to Broxah for this. As the Lee Sin, choosing to get the LeBlanc some free time by ganking mid, getting the kills mid, means that then you unlock Caps to go roam up to the top side and take over that matchup. So it really does have this big chain effect. We're in a fight again.
Yeah, as they look forward, Brock's going to jump into a ward and get away. Sivir helping him run back a little bit. Here comes the charm, the double knockup. They're going to find one already as Zeyzal, and the jungler is gone. 2-0 Fnatic. They're re-engaged, looking for Hylissang. They might jump him down, and they will. One up for C9, but another trade. Great kick for Broxah as he is unstoppable now in the jungle. 14 to do, and Fnatic will be satisfied with the 3 kills. Baron is on the menu.
20 minutes in, they're starting it. Sneaky's fairly low, trying to duel the red buff. Jensen is around, no ulting on his side. 4 members from Fnatic alive here. Try and force Jensen away.
Ooh, he's already getting a little bit low as well. The ult's coming across, the jump towards Sneaky. Someone keeps him alive, but how can this steal really happen? We've seen crazier ones, but it seems unlikely. Broxah's been on point all game. He's got Smite again. They try to stop down Jensen. Forced farther and farther away. He's no longer in range. The Baron picked up at 20-40, and it's an 11,000 gold lead, plus a kill to add insult to injury.
I mean, 20-minute Baron picked up is kind of what we expected with the direction this game was going, but Caps isn't even satisfied with that.
That's a good flash at least, though. They might get the trade. His clone actually blocks the Q. Broxah's here as well. A shutdown at least is picked up, and there's someone on the other side. So a couple of glimmers of hope for C9. They need a lot more than a glimmer, but they will keep chasing down Broxah. There's the ward hop. Q's going to slow. And ult is going to be traded for a flash, and it's just the single kill at the end of it all.
Mid lane is getting pushed by Fnatic right now. They took down the turret. C9, they get the kill and a massive shutdown onto Caps. But that was basically it. Fnatic have played this early game close to perfect. And a 20-minute Baron after winning a fight is the best you can hope for when you're trying to snowball the game.
12,000 gold at 21 minutes. And we can again watch this fight. It's a 3-for-1 overall. Really good plays out of everyone on Fnatic here.
So C9, they know that Licorice is moving from bot and he will be here first, so that's why they were looking for a fight initially. But they engage, plus the goal lead from Fnatic is huge. And now, I want you to look at Broxah versus Licorice. Because Licorice, he wants to ult away, but Broxah times his kick just when he knows Licorice is about to ult, so he can't actually do it because he's flying in that animation with the kick from Lee Sin, and that's how he gets the execute onto him.
Yeah.
Perfect timing from Broxah means that Licorice dies.
And that has been the story of the game. Just constant outplays here from Fnatic. Definitely setting a worrying trend here for Cloud9 as the series just opening up. But a minute and 47 with the Baron buff. Cloud9 now going mid for Bwipo.
Gonna try to find him, but of course his flash is still up because Fnatic have been fighting with such an advantage. Their summoners are up after the fact. Not a problem for him, and meanwhile top is being pushed. So an attempt by C9, one jab, but the counter punch so much better. Fnatic grab even more of the base. 13,000 now the lead. Inhibitor turret under fire, under 23 minutes, attacking it now.
And I should be able to take this one quickly, but C9 are looking for potential engage. Last hope for them is just to fight. There's no way you can actually stall out this game. You have to try and take a crazy team fight. But Fnatic, they are in full control. They've been playing so well in this first game, and they'll take the first in here.
Fnatic on point. Inhibitor going to be given up, and a Sivir ult to rotate a bit faster just in case there's something else they want to do. Shenanigans for Bwipo. Jumping forward, putting the stun field down. They got mini wave in the mid as well. Ult committed on top of that one. And the charm forward, but Hylissang knocked back, finds the knockup though. No kills just yet. C9 going to lose more of their base. Fnatic pop ults and then disengage cleanly.
Fnatic making such quick work of the Cloud9 base. They saw the IG games yesterday. and decided to take that challenge of how quick they can finish this one up.
This first game, however, will probably shape the first pick meta of this series. LeBlanc first pick. That's the lane Fnatic ganked early game. That's the lane that roamed to top lane as well and picked up a kill in Licorice. Roam bot lane after. C9 will have side selection in the next game. There's a high chance they can go blue, try and do the exact same thing. Of course, execution is the important one, but seeing this already in game one, that first pick mage just take over the game completely, it's gonna be important for the next few.
The pick was big, but the pick didn't really take over the game. It's so much more about the playmaking and the Lee Sin getting in there.
That's what it gives you, man. That's what it gives you. Best mid laner to set up ganks in the early game is LeBlanc.
Might be the case. We'll see if that gets contested in the next 2 games or maybe more based on if C9 can make a comeback happen in this series. Fnatic so far looking the better on the day. There's the jump forward, looking for the stuns, and knock up on a one, but it's a hard target to kill. As Licorice buys time in the back line, ults back to safe, but still, no one is dropping on Fnatic's side. They're all staying alive, and Svenskeren's at 5 HP. The flash to the wall finds another kill, and they are still chasing Fnatic on the hunt for more, and they're gonna find it a double kill for Rekkles. A third falls, an auto attack for Caps, kills off Sneaky, and this is all but a formality. The base will fall. A 25-minute win in game 1. Fnatic smash Cloud9 in the battle of the last 2 Western teams. Fnatic are 1/3 of the way to the final.
What an opening statement there from Fnatic.
That was one of the best early games we have seen all tournament long. Fnatic got everything they wanted. Lee Sin for Broxah.
Yeah.
LeBlanc for Caps in the mid lane. Perfect setup early game. Took the Viktor. Bwipo looked great even against the Ekko in the early game. I think this Fnatic team are looking very, very scary.
I agree. They look scary. They played well. They got picks that they like. We'll see what the games look like in 2 and 3 and beyond. But for more on how Fnatic dominated game 1, let's send it over to the State Farm analyst desk.
Thank you, Phreak. Dominated, smashed, obliterated, destroyed. I mean, give me some more.
I mean, Dash, I did say Fnatic would take a game in the series.
That's true. You did. You did say 3-1.
Right?
Profit.
We did say 3-1. Absolutely dismantling Cloud9 in that first game of the series here. Fnatic just did.
And I think there were a couple of key takeaways. And first and foremost, just to get it out of the way, I don't think Cloud9 fans should hit the panic button just yet. I think that's not the type of game that's going to tilt you. I feel like you lost that as soon as Finn ran it down top lane, and you just go and say, maybe we don't run it down top lane this next time, and there's not going to be a mental boom. You have something?
Okay. Well, I hear what you're saying. Based on the draft that then moved itself into the game, this does make me hit the panic button.
Oh, well, the game plan was bad.
Because they banned 3 soul laners, then had a first pick soul laner for Caps, then had another blind pick soul laner, had choice of matchup in both soul lanes, lost both soul lanes, in a meta that I think we can now agree on is soul lane focused. So if they're spending their bans on a Akali and Irelia, which they had done in the group stage, haven't prepared counters for those, haven't been able to counter Viktor or LeBlanc, I would officially like to change. Am I allowed to officially re-predict?
No. That's a prediction.
I am predicting 3-0 Fnatic after this game.
Wow. All right.
Look, I'm going to have some pause here because I see that you're really fired up about this. I actually didn't mind C9's plan if Svenskeren's winning the jungle matchup, because you think about the lanes he's working with, they had a level 1 plan. They wanted to get Xin ahead. Zhao didn't get far ahead and then made a big mistake. They kind of reset the map state. Suddenly, if Ekko goes in aggressively, he dies to the jungler. Suddenly, if the mid lane goes in aggressively, they die to the jungler. This game was decided so early, 5 minutes in, after a couple of lanes went down. I said, it's not a comebackable game because they went for snowball, and it was feast or famine. This was the famine side for C9.
And I actually think a huge issue was this mid lane. So Caps really started off on the right foot by getting the point-blank chain and then getting the easy first blood. But now they've already proven in this matchup that you can't just have the counter or soft answer to LeBlanc in Lissandra. You can't survive that lane. And so for me, this now becomes who's going to get blue side, who's going to have the priority pick LeBlanc, who's going to take it blind, and who's going to ban it.
Yeah, and as bad as that Svenskeren play was, I actually think if he returns to the lane, he then gives over assist gold as well. He was dead 100%.
That's true. But if he tries to run, Licorice probably lives because
100% as well.
their focus is on Svenskeren.
But I see where his head was at.
Yeah, I do
full
too.
glass. Half full.
Positivity.
Half full.
It's hard to find anything half full in this if you're an NA fan from this game 1 because from this point, 5 minutes in, with just a small lead, a kill in the mid lane and a couple kills in the top lane, Fnatic knew what to do and they closed it out relatively clean.
This was the big whoopsie. As soon as everyone teleported in the bot lane in C9, they tried to force the play. That was really the only option they had left. The only lane that's not on fire at that point was the bottom lane, and then Bwipo comes down, gets the double kill. You're like, oh, I guess that's a completed hex core at, I don't know, 17 minutes in the game with the Sheen on top of it.
I mean, we called this first game over so early on that I actually don't want to focus on it too much because I do want to talk about what's going to come or what is to come. But before we do that, we have to give a nod to our MasterCard player of the game in caps in the mid lane. That first kill coming through on the LeBlanc really set the tone for the rest of the game.
And it's the confidence, the fact that he has the priority pick of the LeBlanc, that he does it blind. You get the Lissandra and he says, no, you've already lost this lane. I have my power pick.
And we had the discussion between Caps or Broxah and who had more play in the overall game. They both played great games, but for me, it was Caps getting the chain to set up some of the first games that was more impressive.
And you zoom out, right? The thing is, this is a containment matchup for the Lissandra, especially after 6, because the enemy champion has a lot of burst. You have the ability to negate that burst with your self-ult. The fact that he made that play so early and kind of changed the texture of the lane, suddenly Lissandra couldn't even walk up and cue the wave because LeBlanc had already got a couple of kills, is how he subverted what should have been a containment matchup. The snowball went against them. In the end, of course, a lot of egg on the face after the draft, but just like when we saw a Phreak try the Viktor for the first time and lose game 1 against C9, I don't want to be too results-oriented and say both these picks are garbage, change the solo lanes if you see the same blind picks from Fnatic, but I can understand how you'd get there. They just really need to work out the jungle situation because it really just compounded everything.
I guess just my reaction to games like this, especially after we see G2 versus Invictus Gaming, is we have so much tape now that the nature of this meta is it's going to be break one way or the other so hard because it is so snowball. So you're constantly going to see teams just get punched in the face and fall down and be like, oh, I guess it wasn't even close. But that's actually just how this plays out. I think every single game is going to be really swingy back and forth.
Well, C9 is going to the blue side.
Thank goodness.
No
Okay.
substitutions. So, Jat, you took issue with some of the drafting here from Cloud9. If they swap to blue side with that kind of control over priority, what do you think they should jump at?
I think the first pick LeBlanc is super smart by Fnatic. I think that was massive. I think Jensen's also good LeBlanc. So if it's up, I think they should take it. Okay. I also think the Aatrox Akali Aurelia ban, I don't know how good their counters to Akali or Aurelia are, or if they're willing to pilot them because they haven't shown that. But I think the Aatrox ban is useless because we've actually seen 4 champions that work well into it now.
Yeah.
Poppy, Jace, Viktor, and Hecarim. So just please don't ban it. Be ready for a counter pick and give yourself some flexibility for C9.
Here's my panic button. If they get on blue side, and just like previous rounds, they have to ban Aurelia Akali on blue side, which of course is where you want to first pick one and be able to flex it around. The fact that they haven't mastered those champions in the few days off, that's where you get really concerned. Because if you have to ban them on red and have to ban them on blue, emergent strategies will come out that you want to address, but you won't have the bans to do so. That's where maybe pick and ban gets away from C9.
Now, what does Fnatic do to kind of keep this success rolling as they move to the red side?
Well, if they show that they can give away the LeBlanc, if it continues to be a priority pick and then they can break the matchup, then suddenly they've won the skill matchup, if you will, and it's now kind of like a ready check. If Cloud9, do you just have to now ban it, or is this going to be a constant competition to get on blue side just to deny pick it away from Caps?
Exactly. I think Fnatic continues with the Zillion and the Nocturne ban, and then they just stack as many power picks as they can early on red side.
All right, well, there you have it. Some thoughts from the analysts ahead of game 2. Fnatic came out swinging in game 1. We'll see if Cloud9 can shake it off and fight back.